So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 4. And my own personal opinion is don't let the scoreline fool you. Aston Villa doing Aston Villa things in the I suppose, first of all, incredibly unlucky goal to go 3-2 down. Obviously, the fourth goal doesn't happen if we're not 3-2 down. So, you have to take everything in context as well. But and we might as well just start on that because I want to finish in some positives, or I want to talk about positives as well, because I thought there was an absolute ton of positives in that game. But this game was incredibly unlucky. I think that I've seen a lot of people. I've actually seen tons of people online saying, and Villa fans as well. And look, as I say, I don't tell anyone how to fan. I'm just telling you what my opinion is. I personally wouldn't be wishing bad karma on Emi Martinez, as in saying he deserved that for time wasting throughout the course of the game. That wouldn't be my style. That wouldn't be my way of doing it. But if people want to do that, that's absolutely fine by me. I don't care if people do it. But I think it's a bringing it up because I've seen a bit of it. Just to talk about it because I don't know how you guys feel. But it's one of those goals that you see conceded in FIFA. The ball comes down off the crossbar, hits off the goalkeeper, and goes in. And it's something that you'll probably see on A Question of Sport in a couple of years time. And what happened next? One of those situations, and Arsenal got lucky with regards to that. Yes, they were on top of us for the majority of the second half. Nketiah hits the crossbar with a header. We also have Leon Bailey, who was incredibly unlucky, who for a brilliant save from Aaron Ramsdale. It could be 3-3 at that stage. Well, we could be 3-2 up, and then it could be 3-3 when that Jorginho goal goes in. Obviously, Arsenal had that miss from Odegaard as well. But I think in the main that Aston Villa played very resolutely today. I think they were very well structured. Ollie Watkins' goal was taken absolutely superbly. We caught Arsenal absolutely cold on that one. I was saying prior to the game that we should attack down the right-hand side. Ben White, actually, I'm going to give a couple of moments to speak about Ben White. Ben White being transitioning from a centre half and a central defensive midfielder over to that right back position was absolutely fantastic today. He was brilliant going forward. He dug out one or two brilliant crosses. That cross he dug out where Nketiah hit the crossbar, I thought was really good cross. Ben White looked really good today, but Aston Villa caught him twice. And the two times we caught him, we scored 2 goals from. I thought both our goals were really well worked, really well taken. I thought they looked, we looked like a really good unit for a lot of the time today. When we're in defence, I thought Martinez was shaky today. Some of those balls out to the sideline, he overhit his man. I think it was 3 times. He got caught in possession then as well by Nketiah as well. We can talk about some of the things they did. I don't think the ball coming back and hitting him off the crossbar was like, there's nothing you can do about that. That's just an incredibly bad luck. But I think for the first goal as well, being a bit more commanding, like the Tyrone Mings header was into no man's land. It should have been either out over the end line, or Martinez has an easy catch there, and somebody needs to take I suppose more command of that situation. But there was a lot of indecision there. Mings heads it back out, and I haven't seen any replays of it. And I think it might have been Kamara was caught flat-footed. That's not to blame Kamara. I just wanted to know who was caught there, because I'd like to think that we'd be alive in the box for Saka's goal. And Saka scored a brilliant goal. Just smashes it into the back of the net. But that's kind of my synopsis on it. Is just an incredibly, like, once again, I will say that in my 37 years in this planet, soon to be 38, there have been some days where I've come away from matches and I've been embarrassed because of a result or whatever. And my New Year's resolution this year is not to be embarrassed about being an Aston Villa fan. It defines me. It defines absolutely who I am. And I'm not embarrassed by this result. because, as I say, we went toe to toe with Arsenal. We very easily could have won this game. It's not a moral victory by any manner or means. We lost to an incredibly unlucky goal from our point of view. But then again, if you don't shoot, you don't score. And Jorginho takes a shot from nowhere. Their second goal, Zinchenko gets it at the edge of the area. Could the press have been a bit more? Probably could have, but we pressed at 3 different levels, and when you see the way that people run out to it, I think Zinchenko just puts it in literally the only place he can put it to score. Now, people might think differently, but I think that we had a wall at least 3 different levels there for that shot to come through, and he just puts it in the right spot. And very unlucky, or very well taken goal, and I think the quality of the first 4 goals was really good. 2 goals from Arsenal, 2 goals from Villa. I thought some of the quality of play from Villa was really good, and some of the quality of play from Villa was really sloppy. Philippe Coutinho obviously gets his goal, really well worked goal. Once again, Arsenal fans would be looking at maybe what the press was like on him for his goal, and the fact that Buendia just lets the ball through his legs, and it comes to Coutinho, like that should have been, from an Arsenal point of view, I'm sure there's an Arsenal podcast here going, we should have stopped that from getting through to Coutinho. But once again, Coutinho puts that in the only place that Ramsdale can't get to it. Goes right across him and puts it in there as well. So the quality of the first 4 finishes I thought were really good. Obviously, the last 2 goals are what they are. An incredibly unlucky goal, as I say again, and then the fourth one just doesn't happen if the third goal doesn't happen. And I'm still not sure I'm okay with him coming up for the corner. I don't know if there's anything to be won in that instance there in a league game. But then again, I suppose, look, there's nothing to be lost either by him going up there. And we can see the goal. It looks silly, and people will point and laugh for a while. But that's just the nature of the way football fanning is at the moment. But I'm going to come to some of your comments. I am on my own after the game today, so I'm going to come to your comments and see. I haven't looked at any of them there yet, but Philly D says incredibly harsh. Yeah, I think Villa could have got more out of that game, but Arsenal needed a stroke of luck. They need a stroke of luck the way that their last few games have gone, and they've gotten it. They've gotten it here. They've gotten it today, and I actually want Arsenal to win the league. If we can't win it, I would like Arsenal to win it out of Arsenal and City. So, but I didn't want them to beat us today. The 2 of those can be mutually exclusive, obviously. Everything Villa says, for fuck's sake, how's your look? Absolutely gutting. Adam says, could have won it in another day. Jed asks, why can't we ever get luck? Jack says, was a great game of football. Yeah, I think it was I actually enjoyed watching that game of football from both sides. I did. There was a lot in it. There was handbags at one stage where there's hands going up into people's chests and stuff like that. There was a couple of contentious tackles. There was 4 really good goals and 2 late goals to settle it. There was some really good counter-attacking play. There was some really good defensive clearances from Tyrone Mings. And I'm not just sugarcoating this. This is talking about things in context, which I've said that I am going to try and do. Ozzy Aston says, I'm proud of the boys today. Devastated, but proud. And I actually feel the same way. I like the way that we played today. The result obviously wasn't what we wanted. And I think that Aston Villa on another day could have got a different result. And that goal is just so, I've said it about 10 times, I'd say. That goal was just incredibly unlucky. But the manner of the performance today, if we come out of this with a 2-2 draw today, which was absolutely on the cards, only for that stroke of luck, is and look, I'm waiting for when I come down through the comments here to say you make your own luck, because I know somebody's going to say it if they haven't said it already. Like that would have been an okay result for me. I think it would have been a great result for me, 2-2, because I expected a draw at the start. Or I was hopeful of getting a draw at the start of the game. Richie Ryan says Watkins was brilliant. His finish was excellent. I agree with that. His finish was really, really good. Watkins' finish. Thought he worked very hard throughout the game. Just one thing that he needs to kind of brush up on is there was one time when we had a counter attack. He took the ball really wide onto the left hand touchline almost, and John McGinn was steaming through, and he still went for the cross to John McGinn, and he just didn't have the power in the cross. There was no way he was getting the cross there. But overall, Ollie Watkins, I thought his goal was really good today. And if he keeps on scoring goals, that's what we need from Ollie Watkins, is goals. Adam says Duran was a big positive. I agree. John Duran, the battering ram, he came on and he pressed like mad. Very unlucky not to have a goal. Like he had an opportunity. I think how will I put this? I think he wanted to do everything other than shoot for that opportunity he had. I think he wanted to square the ball to Leon Bailey, but he left it too late, and then he had to have a shot because he was slowing down to find the proper moment to square the ball, I think. But his shot was really good, albeit it was at Ramsdale. And once again, John Duran came in. He won a couple of goals in the air. He pressed really hard, and some decent minutes for the young man there, albeit it would have been nicer to be in a more positive result. Snowflake says, fantastic, so close, fantastic game. I thought we lost our legs a bit in the second. I presume that's the second half as opposed to the second floor. Dean Bradley says, conceded 8 goals in the last 2 home games. Yeah, absolutely. But we still could have got a 2-2 draw out of this game today. And as I say, context is king. And we've conceded 11 goals in the last 3 games. But context is king. This is an improvement over those last 2 games. I think that's fair to say it was an improvement because, when you like that, as I say, you can say about goals conceded all you want, but like that last goal is, it is what it is. It was throwaway stuff. And at the end of the day, that last goal was that just doesn't happen if the third goal doesn't go in. I think that's fair to say. Where else are we? Aston Villa armchair fan says, what a performance. Bad luck in the end. Feel for the boys, but very encouraging for me. I take the positives out of it. Oddly enough, I am as well. I think if Jorginho isn't closed down, has a strike and it goes in cleanly, I think I might feel a small bit more aggrieved. But on another day that hits off Mamie Martinez and goes out for a corner. And we clear our lines and we end up at 2-2. And look, I know that I'm sure I haven't come to a comment yet, but I'm sure someone is going to say sugarcoating of the game. That's fine. If you think the performance is that bad that I'm sugarcoating it, that's absolutely fine. As I say, I just come on here and I talk about my opinion. It's not trying to convince anybody that I'm right or wrong. If people agree with me, that's fantastic. If people don't agree with me, I still want to talk to you. I want to get that kind of discourse. I want to get the stuff that obviously people that I will have maybe not taken into account. Continue to talk to me if opinions differ, and that's absolutely fine. Mike Warmbold, Simon Hooper investigation incoming after his second half performance. I think his first half performance as well. I think he was relatively out there just to have a stroll around the field for good parts of that game. Like, ideally, Byakusako probably should have been off. He should have had 2 yellows. And Eddie Nketiah, that dive was probably the worst dive you would see. It's probably the worst dive you will see, maybe even between now and the end of the season. It was really bad dive. And if you have simulation and you don't book somebody in that instance for that type of simulation. But look, Simon Hooper, I don't know. And once again, somebody can tell me whether I'm wrong, but I don't think Simon Hooper was the reason we lost this game today. But yeah, some curious leniency, I think, at times from Simon Hooper today. For sure. Yeah, John Steele says, good game, but I'm gutted. It's a hard one to take. I just hope we batter Everton. Well, we have to go out and get a result against Everton. We have to get a result against everybody. I felt we could have got a result today, and we could have got a result today. We weren't, it wasn't like the Man City game. This game wasn't like the Man City game for sure. We looked a lot more coordinated. We looked a lot more structured. We looked a lot more coherent in this game than we did against Man City, specifically Man City first half. And that gives me optimism for sure. Going up against Everton next week will obviously be one that I would be more expectant that we would get something from. I would be expecting that we would, if we played to the level that we played today, that we should have a very, very good chance of getting 3 points out of Everton next week. But consistency has been a thing for Aston Villa over the last 4 or 5 games, and losing is a habit, just like winning is a habit. So we need to stop the rot somewhere. 3 losses in a row now. We need to stop that rot. And I thought today was going to be it, whereby would have only been 2 losses and a draw. And I think that would have been a good result for Aston Villa. But now we go into Everton next week, and we're craving those points that are potentially on offer. A couple of people not happy with the time wasting. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, I don't think it was karma for what happened with the ball coming down off the crossbar and hitting off Emi Martinez. Me myself, I don't wish bad things on my players. Not that anybody here in the comments did. Not that anybody here in the comments did. Don't get me wrong. But I just saw a couple of things on Twitter, and me personally, I don't do that. And as I say, it's fine. This is a question I will continue to ask until the end of the season until I see improvement. If Aston McPhee is the set piece coach, then why are we conceding so much from corners and from set pieces? Can't remember what this statistic is again. Is it 12 goals this year? I think maybe conceded from set pieces. We only conceded one from a set piece today, I think, didn't we? Yeah, one from a set piece. That might be 12 conceded from set pieces. That's an issue. Specifically when your title is set piece coach. That is an issue. Now, once again, going back to my commentary on what the Zinchenko goal actually, what I felt the Zinchenko goal was, when we look at it again, there's three people kind of pressing in an arc. Yes, no one gets right out to touch off him or anything like that, or lay a glove on him, but I still think we'd have covered enough that if he gets at a foot either side of where he hits it, it either hits the post or it hits off one of our players. I think he genuinely just found the sweet spot for it there. But once again, we didn't look like we were as alert to it as we possibly could have been. And it was just a simple short corner as well. Short, quick corner. Ed says absolutely gutted, played so well, lost our legs in the last 20, and we go again. And that was an interesting one as well, because we made a load of subs. And I'll watch it back again. I don't know whether we lost our legs or whether we were just overly cautious about committing people forward. Like, I still think John McGinn had energy left in his legs. I thought when we made the substitutions, like the one big thing about bringing Dendoncker on for Douglas Luiz is you miss pace. Like, Dendoncker is nowhere near. It doesn't have the sharpness of turn and so on from Douglas Luiz. But he has height, he has strength, and he the potentially brought on there to help with corners, to help with those long balls, help with the high balls through, because we weren't really dealing with those. And to allow Tyrone Mings to not have to commit into midfield to win maybe a high ball or a long ball up, I think there was merit towards that. But the turning ability of Douglas Luiz, the nimbleness of Douglas Luiz, we do see a drop off of that when Dendoncker comes on. Or I felt that we saw a bit of a drop off from when Dendoncker came on. And in this game, I would say contextually within this game with the players that you have around there, where you need to be able to turn quickly when somebody is running at you, like an Odegaard or like Martinelli or like a Sacco, if you get caught up 1-to-1 with them. I think that's just something I took away from those last 20 minutes or so. Where else are we? Some people thinking the second half was an embarrassing display. That's absolutely fine. I don't think it was. I don't think it was embarrassing, but because I say, we'll watch it again and maybe we'll find other things that we missed in the second half. Biaka Sacco, guys. What a footballer! Firstly, and two things once again can be true. What a footballer Saka is, and I keep on calling him Sacco. I do apologize. Saka, what a brilliant footballer he is. But he's the style of footballer that he's going to get tackled, if that makes sense. And I seem to find sometimes that he doesn't expect that he should be tackled. And obviously we know they did get a yellow card, and the other one I thought was high, and I thought he followed through purposely on Alex Moreno, and probably should have been a second yellow card. There wasn't a red card that first one, I don't think so, but like should potentially be a second yellow card, or a first yellow card, with the second one being a second yellow card there. But he did play on. He looked injured, and I thought that Aston. I was kind of worried because it seemed like Villa knew he was injured and kind of just left him out on an island on his own out there. But they continually hit crossfield passes to him, and it continued to stretch us. And I just wonder if that compactness that we wanted in the back four and not going to that six at the back at times in the second half might have been a bit naive, not naive, but might have been a bit of a missed trick, I think, from Villa today. Because when the ball went to him, his control was still absolutely fantastic. Saka, injured or not injured, and he was still able to bring people into play, like Ben White. He was able to bring Odegaard into play. Xhaka at times came over there as well. So it allowed them to regroup on the other side and allowed them to regroup for those crosses. And they did win one or two crosses that came in from our left hand side, their right hand side as well in that second half. So that's something else as well. Back to some of the comments here as well. Standing on the word says chuff for Coutinho, he played well. Watkins is turning up. I think Bailey tried to be clever when he got into the box and he could have had a shot. Yeah, I remember that one. He had his man beaten. He tried to turn him again a second time. I think he learned from his mistake though and just swung a foot at it, a right footed it the second time. Ramsdale makes for the second chance he had. Ramsdale makes a brilliant save. And once again I'm lamenting missed chances here, but the reality is that Ramsdale makes a brilliant save, goes off the crossbar, and then their one is it comes off the crossbar, hits off our goalkeeper and goes in the back of the net. So when one was extremely unlucky for us, one was extremely lucky for Arsenal. So it's that's just factual. I think I don't think anyone could be too annoyed about me saying that. I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to finish up on that there, guys, as well, because I don't really have much more to chat about with regards to it. We've covered everything. I don't really have anything else to kind of go on because it would just be reactionary, talking about things that I only kind of half remember. So we'll watch this game again. We might get Paddy on it to see what his feelings were maybe later on at the start of next week. But all in all, not the result we wanted from Aston Villa today. It looked like it would be a good result for Aston Villa up until maybe the last 5 minutes or so. But it is what it is. Don't let anybody point and laugh at you. And if they do, fuck them. Back to the fuck them family here. That's what we're going to be here. Anybody, just doesn't matter. It was an absolutely outlier goal. It was a goal that doesn't happen. It was a freak goal. There are going to be people that are going to be pointing and talking about Emi Martinez. He seems to be everybody's favorite person to hate at the moment. He's just taken on the Jack Grealish mantle of we need to hate him now from other fans. Fuck him. That's the way it is. That's the way I feel about it. Ain't going to lose any sleep over what other fans feel about our club. It's what we feel about the club that matters, and that's why we support them. So with that in mind, everybody, I'm going to sign off. Thanks very much, everybody, for listening. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Wasn't to be our day today. We will be back again with more podcasts over the course of the next week. But have a very good and a very safe rest of your weekend. We'll see you all back here very, very soon. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.